Welcome to the Morning English Podcast. Listen, learn, and speak English daily.
Hello, English learners, and welcome to our podcast. My name is Emma, and we are so happy that you are here with us today.
And I'm Mark. Yes, welcome everyone. It's wonderful to have you here with us today.
It really is wonderful. We want you to feel like you were just relaxing with two good friends.
Exactly. Like you were sitting right here in the room with us, maybe having a cup of coffee or tea.
Yes, this is a totally relaxed place to learn real English without any pressure, just everyday English that people actually use.
So before we jump into today's deep dive, I have to ask, how is your morning going so far?
Oh my goodness. Well, it was a little bit crazy. I actually woke up exactly on time today.
Okay, that sounds like a good start, right?
You would think so. I had my whole morning planned perfectly, like shower at 7, breakfast at 7:30, leave the house at 8.
I feel a but coming here.
Oh, there is a big but. I spilled coffee all over my shirt right as I was walking out the door.
Oh no, that is the worst.
Right, so I had to run back upstairs, change my clothes, and suddenly I was running 15 minutes late, and I felt so frantic for the rest of the morning.
Frantic. That is a really great word for our listeners to learn right away.
Oh, yeah. So frantic means you feel wild with fear or anxiety because you are rushing. You have that stressed out panic feeling.
I think everybody listening can relate to that feeling of being frantic. And honestly, that connects perfectly to what we are talking about today.
It really does, because today we are doing a deep dive into time management, but not the boring kind.
No, definitely not. We are looking at some fascinating ideas about why our perfect schedules always seem to fail and how we can actually manage our time in a way that feels good.
I am so excited to share this with you all. You are going to learn some amazing tips for your daily life and, of course, lots of great English vocabulary along the way.
So, if you enjoy learning English with us, please take a quick second to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and maybe share it with one friend who is also learning English.
Yes, please do. All right, let's start with a really interesting question for you, the listener. Have you ever made a perfectly organized plan for your day, but by 10 in the morning, you are already feeling completely stressed and behind?
I mean, I know I have. It happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
You look at your digital calendar, and the schedule itself looks so calm and organized.
Right, it looks so pretty on the screen.
Exactly. But the human being who actually has to live that schedule, they are totally stressed out.
So the sources we are looking at today explain why this happens, and it usually starts with something called back-to-back scheduling.
Back to back. Let's explain that phrase. It means doing things one right after the other with absolutely no break in between.
Yes. Like, say it is Saturday morning. You plan to go to the grocery store at 8, the bank at 9, and an exercise class at 10.
That sounds like a very productive morning.
It does. On paper, it looks great, but you scheduled everything back to back. 0 gaps. And the sources say this is like a fragile glass bowl.
A glass bowl. Tell me more about that.
Well, a glass bowl looks smooth and perfect, right? But if it gets even one tiny little crack, what happens?
The whole thing shatters. It breaks into a million pieces.
Exactly. So think about that Saturday morning. You are at the grocery store, and the checkout line is just a little bit slow. It delays you by like 12 minutes.
Just 12 minutes. That shouldn't ruin a whole morning.
But it does, because you had 0 extra time planned. So you run to your car, you drive too fast to the bank, you get there late, and then you completely miss your exercise class.
Wow. So one 12-minute delay created a domino effect.
A domino effect, great phrase. That is when one small event causes a chain of other events to happen, just like a row of dominoes falling down.
So what is the solution here? How do we stop the glass bowl from breaking?
The sources introduce a concept called breathing room. And I love this idea so much.
Breathing room. It sounds relaxing just saying it. What does it actually mean in this context?
It means planning a 5 to 10 minute empty space between your tasks. It acts like a buffer or a cushion to protect your schedule.
But wait, I have to be honest here. When I see 10 empty minutes on my calendar, I feel like I should be doing something. Like I should answer an email or quickly clean the kitchen.
And that is the exact trap. That is why we feel so frantic. Breathing room is not empty time waiting to be filled. It is scheduled time that has a very important job.
Okay, I am listening. What is its job?
Its job is to absorb reality. If a phone call goes 5 minutes too long, the breathing room absorbs it. Or if you just need 5 minutes to drink some water and relax, you have the time.
I love that. Absorb reality. because reality is messy. There's always traffic or slow internet or, spilled coffee.
Exactly. So for our listeners, think about your schedule for tomorrow. Look at two things you have to do, one after the other. Ask yourself what needs to happen between these two things.
Usually you need travel time, or maybe you just need to decompress.
Decompress, that is a great word. To decompress means to relax and calm down after a stressful situation.
Which brings us to the next big problem we found in this deep dive. Even if you have breathing room, it doesn't matter if your brain is too tired to do the work.
Yes. This is such a huge point. Time does not equal focus.
We kind of treat ourselves like robots, don't we? We think, oh, I have an hour free at 4 p.m., so I will write that really difficult report then.
But our energy levels change all day long. There was a great story in the research about this. A person had a really important writing project to do in the late afternoon.
Okay, sounds normal so far.
Right. But right before that, they had 3 really stressful phone calls. So their scheduled writing time starts. They open their computer, and guess what happens?
I am guessing they couldn't write anything.
Nothing. They stared at the screen for 40 minutes, typed 2 sentences, and gave up. Because their brain was totally drained.
Drained.
Yeah.
Like a battery with 0% power left.
Exactly. The brain is an organ, right? It uses physical energy. When you are stressed out, you don't have the mental fuel to do deep, hard thinking.
So how do we fix that?
The strategy is called energy matching. You put your tasks into 3 different buckets: high focus, social, and routine.
Okay, let's break those down for the listeners. High focus means deep thinking, like writing or solving complex problems.
Yes. And social tasks are things like meetings or calling a client or helping a coworker.
And then routine tasks would be easy chores, like answering simple emails, organizing your desk, or maybe washing the dishes if you work from home.
Exactly. But here's the trick. You have to match those tasks to your own personal energy levels.
I have a question about that, actually. A lot of famous business books say you should always do your hardest work first thing in the morning, like right when you wake up.
Ah, yes, the famous eat the frog advice.
Eat the frog. That is a funny idiom. For our listeners, to eat the frog means to do your worst or hardest task first, so the rest of the day feels easy.
Right. But the sources we read actually disagree with that advice.
Really? Why is that?
Because it assumes everyone is full of energy at 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
But we all have a different biological clock.
That makes total sense. I mean, some people are night owls.
Yes. A night owl is someone who loves staying up late and feels most awake at night.
So if you are a night owl, your brain might be very sleepy in the morning, but super focused at 9 p.m.
Exactly. So your high focus time is at night. You match your hardest work to the time when you personally feel sharpest.
I can hear some of our listeners thinking, but I don't control my schedule. My boss tells me when my meetings are.
And that is completely fair. Most of us don't control everything, but you can usually control the small moments.
Right. Like if you just finished a huge stressful meeting at 2 p.m., don't try to write a complex report at 2:30.
Exactly. Use that time for a routine task. Clean out your email inbox. Match the easy work to your tired battery level.
I really like that idea. Okay, so we have breathing room, and we are matching our energy, but the sources talk about another really interesting problem.
Oh, the rebuilding tax. This part blew my mind.
Yes, the rebuilding tax. So tell us about the situation with a laptop.
Okay, picture this. It is late at night. You are working really hard on a big project on your computer. You have like 12 different internet tabs open.
Oh, I know this feeling. Tabs everywhere.
Right. Emails, articles, documents, but you are so exhausted you just slam the laptop shut and go to sleep.
And then you wake up the next morning.
Yes. The next morning, you open your laptop, you see those 12 tabs, and you just stare at them. You have no idea what you were doing.
Takes you 30 minutes just to remember why tab number 4 is open, right?
Yes. You have to completely rebuild all the thoughts in your head from the night before, and that takes so much mental energy.
The sources call this the rebuilding tax. A tax is usually money you pay to the government, but here it means a heavy cost on your brain's energy.
It is like walking out of a movie theater halfway through a really complicated mystery movie.
Oh, that is a great example.
If you go back to the theater the next day, you would be totally lost. You would be asking, wait, who is that guy? Why are they running?
Exactly, because you forgot all the background information. So how do we avoid paying this rebuilding tax every single morning?
With a super simple trick called the restart note.
The restart note. Tell me how it works.
When you are finished working for the day, don't just stop suddenly. Take 2 minutes, just 2 minutes to write a little note to yourself for tomorrow.
Okay, what do I write in the note?
You answer 2 questions. Where exactly did I leave off? And what is the very first specific step I need to take tomorrow?
Oh, I love that. Because tomorrow me usually has no memory of what today me was thinking.
Right. Tomorrow, you has total amnesia. So you write, I finished checking the numbers. First step tomorrow, email Sarah to ask about the budget.
So the next morning, you don't have to think. You just read the note and start working immediately.
Exactly. You skip the confusion. And it also helps your brain relax at night because you know your ideas are safely written down.
That is so practical. Now, I want to talk about the opposite problem. Sometimes the problem isn't stopping. The problem is that we can't stop.
Oh, yes. The famous final improvement trap.
This happens to me with emails. I write an email, it is totally fine, it is ready to send. But then I don't send it.
What do you do instead?
I read it again. And then I change one word. And then I think, maybe I should make this a bulleted list.
And suddenly, you have spent an hour fixing an email that was already good enough.
Yes. Why do we do this?
Because it makes us feel safe. We're searching for a feeling of perfect certainty. But we aren't actually making the work better, we are just wasting time.
There is a famous rule about this called Parkinson's law, right?
Yes. Parkinson's law says that work will expand to fill the time you give it. If you have 2 hours to clean a room, it will take 2 hours.
But if you only have 20 minutes, you'll clean it in 20 minutes.
Exactly. And endless tasks like studying English or cleaning the house or improving a document, they can go on forever unless you decide when they are finished.
But how do you know when it is finished? I don't want to do the bad job on purpose.
That is a great point. It is all about standards. If you are writing a legal contract, yes, it needs to be perfect.
But if it is just a quick message to a friend, it doesn't need to be perfect.
Exactly. So the sources say, before you start a task, you should finish the sentence. For today, this task is finished when?
Ah, so you draw the finish line before you even start running.
Yes. This email is finished when I have answered the main question and checked my spelling. Once you do that, you stop. You call it a day.
Call it a day. Another great English idiom. It just means to stop working on something.
Right. You cross the finish line and you call it a day. Okay, so we have breathing room, we are matching our energy, we use restart notes, and we define the finish line.
This is a really strong toolkit for managing time.
It is. But we have to talk about real life. Because sometimes a massive problem comes out of nowhere and completely destroys your whole plan.
Oh, yes. Life is very good at throwing curveballs. A curveball is a surprise problem you didn't expect.
So when the day falls apart, the sources say people usually fall into one of two traps. The first one is what I call a funeral for the schedule.
A funeral? That sounds so dramatic.
It is. Imagine something goes wrong at 10 a.m. A water pipe breaks in your house.
Oh, that is stressful.
Very. And after you fix it, you just say, well, the whole day is ruined. You throw away all your other plans, and you just sit on the sofa scrolling on your phone for 4 hours.
The all-or-nothing mindset. If it
Yeah.
isn't perfect, I won't do anything at all.
Exactly. And the second trap is the opposite, but it is just as bad. It is the stressful squeeze.
The stressful squeeze. What is that?
That is when you are delayed by 2 hours, but you stubbornly try to force all your original tasks into the remaining time.
Oh, wow. So you were trying to squeeze 8 hours of work into 4 hours.
Right. You rush, you panic, you make lots of mistakes, and you end the day feeling terrible.
So we want to avoid the funeral, and we want to avoid the squeeze. What is the better way to recover?
The sources suggest a great method. It is called finding the next fixed point.
The next fixed point. Let's explain how to do that.
When your plan blows up, stop looking backward. Look forward to the next thing on your calendar that absolutely cannot move.
Like picking up your kids from school at 3 p.m. You can't change that.
Exactly. That is a fixed point. So you look at the time you have right now and the time you have to leave to get the kids, and you ask yourself one simple, calming question.
What is the question?
What still fits?
Wow, what still fits? That really changes how you think about it.
It completely changes your mindset. You aren't failing at the old plan. You are succeeding at a new plan.
The sources used a fitness example that was so clear. Say you plan to go to the gym for a 1-hour workout.
But a surprise phone call makes you late. Now you only have 15 minutes before you have to leave for dinner.
If you do the stressful squeeze, you try to drive to the gym, lift one weight, and drive back in 15 minutes, which is crazy.
Right. And if you hold the funeral, you just give up and do zero exercise.
But if you ask, what still fits? You realize you can't go to the gym, but 10 minutes of stretching in your living room still fits.
So you stretch. Because a changed plan is not a failed plan. That is the most important lesson here.
It removes all the drama. You just accept reality and make a rational choice with the time you have left.
Well said. This has been such a helpful deep dive. Let's do a quick recap of the key ideas we talked about today.
Sounds good. First, we talked about adding breathing room, a 5 to 10-minute buffer between tasks to handle small delays.
Yes. Then we learned that time does not equal focus. We need to match our hardest, high-focus tasks to the time of day when we have the most natural energy.
Third, we talked about the rebuilding tax and how to stop it by writing a simple 2-minute restart note for tomorrow.
Fourth, we stopped the endless final improvement trap by clearly defining what done looks like before we start.
And finally, when everything goes wrong, we anchor to the next fixed point and simply ask, what still fits?
Fantastic recap. Let's quickly review a few of the most useful vocabulary words we learned today so our listeners can practice them.
All right, the first one is frantic, meaning wild with anxiety or rushing around. You can say, I felt frantic when I couldn't find my car keys.
Great example. The next one is domino effect. That is when one small event causes a chain reaction of other events. Like, the train delay caused a domino effect, making me late for all my meetings.
And we also talked about being a night owl, someone who stays up late and feels most energetic at night. My sister is a night owl. She studies best at midnight.
Wonderful. Now it is time for a simple speaking challenge for you, our listeners.
We want you to practice speaking English out loud today.
Yes. Sometime today, look at your schedule, point to a task, and say out loud, for today, this task is finished when, and then fill in the blank.
Say it right out loud to practice your pronunciation. It is a great way to build confidence.
It really is. Practice a little bit every day, and you will see amazing progress. Now, before we say goodbye, there was one really provocative thought about all of this that I want to leave you with.
Oh, I know what you're going to say. This part is fascinating.
Think about the calendar app on your phone or your computer right now. Most of this software is designed with automatic 30 or 60-minute blocks.
Yes, and when you add an event, the app automatically snaps it right against the next event.
There is no automatic setting for a 5-minute transition. The computer program itself eliminates the breathing room.
It literally trains us to schedule back-to-back.
Exactly. It makes back-to-back look normal. So the question is, are the digital tools we use secretly designed to make us frantic?
We are letting a computer program tell us how fast we should live our lives.
So my challenge to you this week is to fight the default settings. Change your meetings from 30 minutes to 25 minutes. Force the software to give you back your breathing room.
I love that. You have to design the system or the system will design you.
That is the perfect thought to end on. Thank you all so much for joining us for this conversation. We hope you learned some great English and some great life skills today.
Keep practicing, keep smiling, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everyone. Take care.